What's up? What's up? What's up? Good evening, good people, and thank y'all for taking the time to join us. So I know many of you know me for one of the many things that I do, but one of the other things that I do is I love all things Baltimore. That's probably the biggest thing that I do, all things Baltimore, and I am a major Ravens fan, and I frequent Twitter to talk my Ravens trash. But I found that there are no two bigger Ravens trash talking people than the two people that I have today. And I think you guys would much rather hear what they think about our upcoming season and what I think. So, without further ado, would you two like to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Hello, everyone. My name is Reeta, better known as the NFL Chick. I'm one half of the Gridiron Gals podcast. Sometimes I peruse on the radio and I do Ravens post game show for Pressbox Online. And yeah, I'm a Ravens enthusiast. I'm a big NFL fan. I love all of the league, but obviously I'm from Baltimore, so the Ravens is my home team. So I'm a huge Ravens enthusiast.
Oh yeah, one third here of the DJKay Show. I'm DJ, and much like the chick over there, I love the Ravens. I'm a homer. I am first a student of the game before a fan, but my heart is here with Baltimore as always. So love all things Baltimore, even those O's. Um,
Me too. Me too.
listen, you gotta love it.
The O's break my heart. I love them, but oh
Me
God, they break
too.
my heart. Oh man.
That's a
So before,
that's a conversation that could be had for another day.
oh,
But
oh God, man, oh gosh. Oh man. So before we go near another further, and yes, I just said near another further. I'm gonna do this at the beginning and the end. Can you tell everybody how to follow you both and where you guys are?
I am on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, at the NFL Chick. You can also follow the Gridiron Gals podcast at Gridiron Gals. That's GALS. So yeah, I'm on all the major platforms.
And for me, primarily DJKay Show, Twitter and Instagram. The Twitter is where you'll find me mostly. I love Twitter. It's fast paced, great combo, good updates on everything. So Twitter is where I'm at primarily. But we on the IG thing too. Hit me up. Give us a follow.
Let's start with something easy. What's your favorite Ravens moment?
I was at the Super Bowl in 2013.
The lights
So
out.
yes, I was. I was actually in the bathroom stall
Oh,
when the lights went out. So that's a great story. And I was, I luckily for me, I was just doing number one, but I was in the middle of doing the number one, and I couldn't move. I had to finish my business, and the lights go out, and I was scared, but it wasn't nothing I could do because I had to finish my number one. So that was very scary for a minute. The generators did come on, but it just wasn't enough. Like they came on mainly on the field. It wasn't really enough, in the stands. So that was a pretty scary moment. But obviously, the outcome was what it was, and that was a great moment for me as a fan.
all right.
Mm.
DJK, your favorite Ravens moment.
My favorite moment, I would say, it's not even pertaining to the game. I would say it was the parade to follow that.
Mm.
Oh my God. And my God, Ed Reed was twisted, but it was it was fun. Like it was just really fun to see the city and just the camaraderie and us coming together. And one thing about our fan base, we love our teams, we love our sport. So I would say that celebratory parade is nuts when I think about it. I've never even been asked a question, but when I think about it, that parade that followed the celebration was nuts. That was fun. I love it. I enjoyed that. We need that again. We need another one, El Freaky.
Yes,
We
we
need
do. So let's jump into some quick NFL stuff. So I always say this at the time of recording, Cam Newton was just released from the Patriots. I just want to get y'all quick thoughts on that.
Go for it, Rita.
Um, I mean, I think I think that Bill Belichick availability is a big thing, right? And when he somehow didn't end up being available for 5 days because some quote unquote misunderstanding about the protocol for the COVID protocol, that that allowed Mac Jones to get more reps with the first team. He ended up playing in the preseason with the first team. And I think although Bill Belichick came out today and tried to, give you this spiel that he gave you, I don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. I think he's very smart, and I think he knows that the NFLPA could investigate him if he came out and said, well, him not being vaccinated means that his availability to me is going to be in question pretty much all year. So he made an executive decision and let Cam go. It's unfortunate, very, because people love Mac Jones, and I'm a college football fan. It is not really hard to be a great quarterback in that system of Alabama's. So people are praising Mac Jones, and maybe he is something different. I just know over time we've not seen anybody like come out guns blaze. We thought Tua was going to be the guy, but he right now is not that guy. So I can't assume Mac Jones is going to be any different, right? So it's weird to me that he's not even at least just being a backup, that they just said we're going to null and void this contract and move forward. But that's what I think is what happened with Cam and the Patriots.
Yeah, definitely. It was an evening on a Thursday in late April, and the Patriots decided to take Mac Jones first pick. I knew at that moment what was coming. I just knew it was just a matter of when. It was really a matter of when, but the situation is a little nasty. The way that it kind of played out, like Reeta was saying, with the protocols and what was going on with him, and he's one of our anti-vaxxers, so I get it. And the NFL is a business first, so they're going to say it's not that. It has nothing to do with the vaccine stuff and all of that. And that's cool. It's a business. I get it. However, we know what it is, and I wish them nothing but the. I wish they weren't our schedule. I really do. we love rookie quarterbacks. Y'all know Wink salivates at that. He loves it. So I would love to be able to play them. But it's very unfortunate with Cam, and it sucks. But when we look across the league at the teams right now, I don't know if there's another opportunity for him right now. I don't know. I can't think of an organization right now. I mean, I can think of where I would like to see him, but I just can't think of an organization right now of the 32 that's like, we need Cam at the starting helm to get us over the hump. I can't, and I could be wrong, but just looking across the board right now, I don't see a team right now that is probably thinking that hasn't already picked their top quarterback and they've earned that by being sucky. I don't know a team right now. Maybe the Cowboys, because Jerry loves to be relevant. Maybe he loves the
Houston.
energy.
Houston is always a good option, because I think Deshaun Watson is done there. I could be wrong, but I think Deshaun Watson has too much baggage for them. And I think even if you did plan on starting him, he potentially gets suspended anyway, which leaves you with Tyrod Taylor. I think Cam is better than Tyrod. I mean, I love Tyrod Taylor, but ironically, Washington would be nice.
I said chocolate pretty early. That's what I wanted for him.
But Ron's not going to allow this whole anti-vaxxer thing, because he's a cancer survivor. So, that we already know that that's out. So, it's unfortunate that, potentially he has opportunity to play elsewhere, but because of his stance with it limits where he could go. So.
And let's jump quickly to our division. So let's go bottom up. I think we have one of the toughest divisions. I know the NFC West would probably want to see this debate table for toughest division. But our division is pretty tough. So even the what I like to call the Bungles, even give us a run for our money all the way back to the Carson Palmer days. So. What do you guys think about division? Let's start bottom up, the Bengals.
I think nothing about them.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
I mean, honestly, they have all these skill players that that should be good, but they don't have any offensive linemen. So I don't know what you want from me. You clearly don't want Joe Burrow to be great. So I don't think anything about them.
So they want his other knee to go out this year.
Basically. It's on the way.
You gotta love it. I expected a little bit of respectability on the NFL chick part. She said no, not at all. I don't expect it. Joe Burrow is running for his life. I mean, we don't know what his mental stability is coming off.
That's another thing.
So the Bungles are definitely looking up. right now, to say the least. So we can agree there for sure.
All right,
Absolutely.
then we have my least favorite team of all teams in the National Football League, the Squealers. So
Steel City, baby.
yeah. I still struggle on it. I'm having a transparent moment with you guys. It's just, you two and then probably a couple hundred of my closest friends, right? I'm having a moment because I struggle with people who are from Baltimore, born and raised in Baltimore, and Pittsburgh fans. I live by the good book, but I have a tough time with with Pittsburgh fans from both. So all right, so outlook on Pittsburgh. What do you guys think about them for this season?
Old. I mean,
Starting with the quarterback that's as old as
I
the
don't know,
coach.
old and listen. Okay, the Najee Harris pickup was great, but they had some shift in their offensive line as well this offseason. So don't know how well they're going to do. I don't know how great Ben is going to be. His other two draft day guys are no longer in the league, which tells me he should probably be on his way out too, but he just wants to just stick around and waste money for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, I mean, they're going to be in it because they're the Steelers, and unfortunately, they stay in. They're just a thorn in everybody's ass. But I just don't know how good they are going to be. The run game definitely has improved, and I think that's not even a debate. But the quarterback position to me is the biggest question mark at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I'm right. I'm right there with Reeta. Respect to Mike Tomlin. Anytime he's involved, highly competitive team. They'll be in the mix. They'll be there. They'll be shaking, no question. I've been gave my hot take a while back. I'm just waiting for the Dwayne Haskins start. Not but when. I do think that it'll happen. Ben is only getting older. Father Time is undefeated, and I'm definitely pissed off of him with just the stinginess. But I get it. He's going to play forever. So. But I'm waiting for the Dwayne Haskins start, like Reeta was saying. O-line still sussy. Najee Harris, I wasn't big on the pickup. I wanted them to go linebacker, but whatever. But they got the running back. So we'll see. They'll be in the mix, but we're better, and we still have to figure out when we meet with them. I don't know what it is anytime we play them, especially in the Lamar era, it's been shaky, but we got to figure out how to get over that hump with beating them. I do have a split with them this year, unfortunately.
And then the team that is the trendy pick right now for everybody, the Browns, who last year I felt like surprised a lot of people, and it's a totally different thing when you move from creeping up on people to when people really get up to play you. And I think this year people will really get up to play them. But what's your guys' overall outlook on the Cleveland Browns?
Obviously, they have the most talent, in the division. If you don't want to count the Ravens, or if you want to say that it's more than the Ravens, that's fine too. So they've shown that they're ready to contend. This is the team that I worry about the most, even though the Ravens are their daddy and they are our sons. That sometimes the son grows up and gets big to be bigger than the daddy. So I hope that doesn't happen, right? I hope that it's still what it is. But to me, they're the biggest threat in this division right now. They made some really good draft choices back in May, and they already offensively have some really good players from their skill position. So yeah, this is the team that I don't want to use the term scares, right? Because the Ravens have been very successful against the Browns, but this is the one that concerns me the most out of all of the teams.
Absolutely. Phony Football Focus has this offensive line being one of the better ones in the league, as it should be with the tandem of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. They address their biggest needs in the offseason being their secondary. I don't know if it's just like father time or luck or whatever it may be, but anytime that we match up with Cleveland, they tend to be missing a lot of key pieces. Health is wealthy also. We're praying for a healthy season this year for our guys. But yes, they are the biggest threat. They always look better on paper, but I trust our coaches more. I mean, I just do. And as long as we got the best guy in the business under center, we got the edge. So
So before we jump into all things Ravens, quick little side note. Again, I use this disclaimer often. At the time of taping, one of the biggest stories right now is Bishop Sycamore, whatever we want to call him. They have honestly earned a 30 for 30 by duping ESPN into allowing this team of 18 to 54-year-olds to play in a high school game. So I really wanted to get your thoughts on this whole thing as it continues to unfold.
This is the craziest thing we've seen since Mantateo. Mantateo had, if you guys don't remember.
Oh yeah, the imaginary girlfriend.
People that are tuning in, if they don't remember, Mantateo had a fake girlfriend who faked the death, and then it was one of some man that he was friends with that was like doing behind the whole thing, and that was I mean, like literally, he was interviewing with ESPN when the girl the girlfriend quote marks died, and that was the craziest thing I ever saw. This is now the craziest thing I've.
So this trumps that for you.
Easily. First of all, how does your ESPN get duped into allowing this team to be on TV and not doing enough research to find out if this is even a legit team? That's the part that I want to know. Like, how did y'all just allow this guy to just convince you that they are as good as the IMGs of the country and the just, or whatever, the St. Francis's of the country? Like, how did that happen, right? Like, and then to find out that they were like junior college players and none of them were high school eligible. And then it was kind of like run like a mob. They were beating up homeless people. Like, what is going on here?
Robbing Walmarts and robbing Kroger's. Like that.
Stay tuned, right? Stay tuned for more craziness.
Like, how? How is that possible?
Well, I mean, they pulled it off. All right, so I can have fun with that all day. Let's jump into the Ravens. So, what grade would you guys give us on the draft? I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna go by at DJKay Show. What grade would you give us on the draft?
Honestly, with the draft, I had us at B plus. I had us at B plus with the draft. I think that for all Ravens fans that are they're listening and tuning in, be patient. The organization right now is beginning to take a bit of a turn, and I think fans in a few years are really going to enjoy the turn, because not to say that we will no longer be defensively, philosophically, and stand there, but we're going to start to trend more offensively. Just be patient, hang in there. Every dollar counts as being aggressive and getting offensive players. I mean, he's been drafting receivers like nuts. So just hang in there and be patient. Like, we're going to get that. But I really enjoyed the draft. Originally, I was a little annoyed by the Stevens pick when we picked him. I was like, man, we could have addressed this area or that area, because I do feel that we are still a little weak depth-wise defensive tackle. But other than that, I did enjoy the draft overall. Much like the masses, I was not feeling the Owe pick, but his athleticism and I mean just his willingness to learn. The Ravens, they love those players that come in and work hard, bring the lunch pail, fast learners and all, and can be versatile. We love to have players play 9 positions when they perfect at one. But all in all, I definitely enjoyed the draft. Was definitely happy on the Bateman. For all of us enthusiast Ravens fans, we were high on Bateman. So to get him, we were like, thank you. Shout out to Lacey DeCoste for putting up with us crazy Ravens fans on Twitter. We love you, Lacey. She's the best. She's the best. I mean, because Ravens fans are just ridiculous. But nonetheless, the draft was great. I enjoyed it, and I just hope that Ben Cleveland can solidify that left guard spot, because O-line is still sussy right now.
Would you add anything to that?
Ben Cleveland scares me. I know we made a whole lot of and I'm not talking about like his size, right? Because his size is what it is, right? And but by scared, I mean in the way that he blocks. And one thing that I am concerned about is how his technique and how many concussions potentially can come from that. He leads with his head a lot, and you know how that can go. So old habits die hard. It's probably something that he has done his whole life, and I don't know if people can unlearn habits like that, So it'll be interesting to see if he can stay healthy, because his presence, obviously, as big as his stature as he is, and he looks like he has a little bit of a nasty streak. is needed on the line. I'm going to go give the Ravens maybe a B minus. I'm teetering on the B minus C because the Ben Mason debacle, which we can call that now, right? 5th round draft pick, where you really could have used an offensive lineman for that draft pick, and two guys that I believe were two offensive linemen that were drafted after him made active rosters. So now that's a wasted pick because he's not even on the practice squad. He ended up going to New England's practice squad as a result. You really could have used some depth there. Or like you said, if you wanted to get like defensive tackle or something like that, you could have used that for some depth that you could need. And you just missed the mark. But I do like the other players. I think Owe is a guy that many of us didn't know about because Parsons was the big guy at Penn State and he was on the other side. And Parsons was the star of that team. But Owe had impact in different ways, right? So while many people didn't really understand why he went in the first round, I think we've seen why the Acosta really likes him so much. And you can just hope that him learning from a guy like Justin Houston, who they picked up in the offseason, is going to help him just elevate himself and be a better player. The other guys I'm good with. I think Bateman is going to be a great player. Obviously, we won't find out till at least week 4. He was put on IR, just found out. But he'll be back, I believe, at the Denver game. So hopefully, we can see why he was drafted where he was. So the Ben Mason pick kind of it kills the mood a little bit, but I still think overall they did well.
That was the family pick. You know that. That was the family pick.
Well, yes, because Ben Mason went to Michigan. So but I'm sick of Michigan players. Stop drafting Michigan players. Enough. Okay? Just because your brother
No more Michigan players.
No more. Thank you.
So you spoke a little bit about potential injury. Speaking in real life term and real injury, losing our number 1 running back. What do you guys see for our running backs? I know we have Gus, but after that, are we worried? Are we not worried? What should we be feeling as Ravens fans?
Well, I mean, you would like to see. I'm curious to see how this thing goes. Obviously, Gus is a very good player, but Gus is a guy that would also be really good with assist, that in a community of sorts. So we'll see if Tyson Williams is the guy that they love enough to say we're good. Justice Hill is still on this team, I believe. Yes. So you would like to think that maybe they came out and said that they're fine, that they're not going to go get Todd Gurley. Of course, any of that can change at any moment, depending on how things go, right? Devontae Freeman, I believe, is still out there. He got cut. I would not mind to kick the tires on that. Because I think that's probably more closer to what you wanted Dobbins to do than Gurley. Because Gurley,
I was going to ask you, is Gurley pretty much a Gus? He's just, not a duplicate, but
he's more similar to Gus. Right. But they really like the guys that they have. They say so. It'll be interesting to see how this goes. I like the Tyson kid. I really think was it Tyshawn. I never say his name right, but I really like that kid. I would like to see him get some reps, some real big league reps, and see how that goes. And if it goes well, I think you're good in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. They're going to be shopping, but of course, PNR, we trust our guys. We have what we need. They're everything we need. Yeah, they're going to shop. I was hoping that McCrary would clear waivers. Clearly not.
Me too.
I would have loved to have him on the PS, but I like what we have. Like you guys said, Devontae, Le'Veon Bell is out there as well. There are some options, but I know that we're going to have to exhaust all options. 17 weeks, we're going to see load management for the first time in the NFL. So sorry, fans, you're going to see some healthy scratches. You're going to see some guys sitting some weeks because the season is a little bit longer. So we need the depth, and we play in a very, very physical division. So the run game is everything. I'm being gracious to public enemy number 1, G-Row. We got a 65-35 on the snap count. So we're going to run the ball a lot. So the run game needs to be solid.
Let me ask you guys this, because you guys are two people that I really look to for like my Ravens stuff, right? And I think a lot of us as casual fans, and then those of us who feel like we know a little bit, we always recognize that they're fans who know a lot more. So let me ask you guys this, because casual fan, the novice, the regular fan, we all think, hey, our problem every year, we need better receivers. And I want to know from you two, is that the issue with our passing game? Is it the receivers? Is it Lamar taking another step? Is it the coaching? Is it the play calls? What is the issue with us not being able to throw the ball as effectively as we would like to? Let me add that, because I'm my personal disclaimer, I'm a big Lamar guy. I'm all things Lamar. I love Lamar.
Disclaimer.
but I'm saying, as the casual Ravens fan, some of the pushback is always in that area. What do you guys, from your vantage point, what do you see that we're not seeing?
I think Lamar is probably the least of the concern when it comes to the passing game. I don't necessarily. Okay, so we know that his out route game is not that great, but the one thing about Lamar that I've always liked, and I've been following Lamar since his freshman year at Louisville, is that he knows, he's told what to do in terms of what he has to do to get better, and he's done that every offseason. And statistically, his numbers increased. And so, to me, Lamar has played with a very mediocre group starting back from college. He didn't have anybody to throw to in college. And then, what makes Lamar so special is that the year that he won unanimous MVP, when you look at the roster that they had from a skill player perspective, right? And I'm not talking about Andrews, who was a rookie, by the way. Remember that. You had your starting guys was Marquise Brown, you had Willie Snead, and I can't even remember the third guy that left. He had some good hands, and then he dropped one also in the playoff game. His name isn't even coming to me. That just goes to show you how.
Yeah, me either. I should know this.
How much impactful he was. Right, it's just not coming to me at the moment. But the point is that that crew wasn't scaring anybody. Seth Roberts, thank you. Seth Roberts, I appreciate you. That crew wasn't scaring nobody.
No.
Nobody was scared by that group of people. Okay.
So no DB lined up on the other side and said, "Oh crap, Seth Roberts is in town."
Right, and then sometimes Miles Boykin, I think he was a rookie as well that year, came in. Who was exactly scared of that?
Yeah, we good. Stand about.
I mean, seriously. And yet somehow they went 14-2. Now I know everybody's gonna see and say, I know, but the run game, blah, blah, blah. Yes, but they said, let's not act like he didn't have any pass attempts. I'm just making the point that, number one, the what they had was what they had. So they had to find a way to get around that. And number two, historically, the offensive coordinator has done this. He's done well 2 years in, and in the third year, people tend to figure out what his game plan is, and it goes from there. So he needs to change, the offensive coordinator, and the GM needed to do a better job of getting him better guys. Now, I think we can all agree that this group here is better than the group I just told you, right? Even if Sammy Watkins don't play 17 games, I don't care. He's better than the group I told you.
I think Sammy Watkins on one leg is scarier than Seth Roberts.
Listen, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that Sammy Watkins was a top draft pick out of Clemson that the Buffalo Bills gave up a lot of stock for to get this guy. This was a guy that really didn't pan out mainly because he couldn't stay healthy. It's not that he can't play; it's just that he can't stay healthy. But I much rather have a group of Bateman, who is probably coming out of college, one of the best route runners that you're going to have. Watkins, who is a really good route runner, and I'd put Marquise Brown in the slot because he don't want the contact, but what you're not going to do is outrun him. You're not going to outrun the kid. So, hey, listen, this is if they find a way to scheme for these guys, he would be fine. And Lamar is the least of the worries here. I don't know, DJKay Show. I don't know how you feel about it, but that's where I'm at with it.
Listen, Reeta, well, look, we on the same page right now because I'm all about accountability. I am, but there is plenty to go around. There's plenty to go around. Coaches coach, players make plays. And the bottom line is, Lamar was working with. I mean, come on. And we were still winning. So I know a lot of you guys are the newer fans. They don't know about the brown bag days on the head, Reeta. They don't know about them days. But they new fans. They don't know, but it's fine. Just be patient with this thing. But based off the roster now, And what we have, you get a Rashad Bateman who's coming in. He's pro ready. Like Reeta was saying, route running, separation, his ability to attack the ball, his contact. I mean, just we have finally the pieces. Health is wealth. We need him healthy. Because right now, I don't know if it's the T and the Keith coming on board. We got a lot of noodle leg guys right now. I don't know. Everybody's nursing hammies, and I don't know what's going on with Miles Boykin either. That's to be continued. But everybody's nursing injuries and such. But I love what we have now on the books. I think that will be much better. This is not. I know everybody wants to put it on Giro, but it's a combination thing. Like Reeta was saying, Lamar did everything. He went and did the work. Those spirals are tight. I don't know if y'all noticed. The boy been working. He has been working, and he's got the pieces now. And this is a different team with him at the helm. So it'll be exciting. We'll be competitive. We'll win a lot of games. But of course, when the playoff time comes, what it's going to be. So that's what I'm looking forward to. Not to knock the regular season, but I'm watching playoffs, G-Bro. I'm watching.
All right. So as we round out, I want to ask you guys, what is your outlook on the season? If you're being realistic, I know as fans, I would love to see us go 17-0 and then sweep our way through the playoffs and then have a Super Bowl where the lights don't go out this time and we just run through whoever the NFC sends. That would be my dream scenario. But understanding that that's probably unlikely, what is your outlook on the entire season?
It'll be interesting. I honestly, I go back and forth about this, about what I see as 10-7, 11-6, which, by the way, that sounds so weird. Because
weird.
now
17 games, yeah.
It sounds so weird. I just feel like potentially they have a slow start because of what they're lacking, which really sucks for them because the Chiefs is week 2, and you don't want to lose to the Chiefs again because it becomes a psychological thing. But if they don't have the guys, then I mean, I don't know what to say to that, because Patrick Mahomes is still Patrick Mahomes. But I think they start off slow because you have guys that'll still be trying to come back from injury. And then I think that they'll find their way. So I'd say between 10-7, 11-6. It's very hard to say what I think about what this division is because, like I said, Cleveland is good right now.
Really good.
And they just have more stability in certain positions like the running back position and the wide receiver position where we're struggling with injury in those positions. So if they get a quick start and start going away with the division and the Ravens got to try to catch up, then it could potentially be problematic. But I think the Ravens will find a way to make the playoffs for sure.
Absolutely, right there with her. With the I'm giving that the floor, based off of what she said. The floor. I'm leaning on the 12-5, 11-6. Like she was saying, I would much rather them get going early, fast, because that back half of that schedule, y'all, is rough. It is brutal. It is ugly. So we need to take care of business and take care of business early, to say the least. We need to go into that bye at a 5-1, 6-1. Give a thing and win in the front end, because the back end, when we get into the divisional matchups and we hit the road and we got to go to Chicago, it's going to get brutal. So
Chicago, listen, if they still stuck with Andy Dalton because they don't want to start Justin Fields, I mean, we might Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
This ain't the same Bengals Andy Dalton with AJ Green and all of them. There's some different dudes that he playing with now, so it might be a little different scenario.
And Andy gonna go Andy.
Yes, listen, Andy going Andy. But look, I'm already projecting by the time we play that it'll probably be Justin Fields, so we can salivate at the rookie quarterback to have it there. But I do, as far as the schedule goes with the breakdown, I did have our projected L's being the Chiefs, the Packers, and then having the split in a division, and then a possible sleeper L. And when I say sleeper L, just that team that hasn't really been getting its credit, that'll probably sneak one where, kind of like that game we had with the Patriots, where it was just nasty, Mother Nature stepped in, all of that. Kind of be one of those. And I'm thinking either Denver or the Chargers. Like, those are two teams that kind of, I'm like, okay, they got solid squads. They're not getting all the credit just due. Teddy B is not going to lose you games. So I'm just kind of like, those are kind of my two sort of sleeper AFC teams, and I'm like, they could probably sneak one on us. But I do think that all in all, our systems are solid. Our team is pumped up, ready. They're coming off of the Pandy season. They're excited. Fans are in the stands. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be fun, and we're going to Vegas week 1. I'm pumped.
Yeah, I can't wait
We'll
for
be in
that.
Vegas, baby. I'm excited.
Just to be in that atmosphere, I think it's going to be absolutely crazy. So knowing that we are 3 all things Baltimore people, if you had to take the Ravens out, what would your Super Bowl pick be? If you had to pick today,
With the Ravens not being there.
if heaven forbid something crazy happened and the Ravens don't make it, because that's where I'm looking. But if that wasn't the case, what teams would you pick to meet in the Super Bowl?
Maybe Buffalo, and I mean, is there anybody right now better than Tampa?
It's hard to find. I mean, people really love the Rams. That's a trendy pick right now, but I don't know if you can trust
Matt
the quarterback.
Stafford ain't won no playoff games,
I don't
so
know if you can trust the quarter. I don't know if you can trust the quarterback. I agree with you on the sleeper thing. That's the only thing I think about the NFC. I think there's going to be a team in the NFC that we're not talking about, and nobody's kind of looking at, that's going to figure out, because Tampa's clearly cutting above better than everybody on that side. But I think there's going to be somebody that comes out of nowhere that's going to.
I just don't know who that team would be.
I don't either. I don't either.
I'm picking a healthy 49ers. Why not? Healthy.
I was thinking that, but I also don't know what they want to do with the quarterback situation. I was thinking the 49ers if you look at their roster, they have a really good roster, but I don't know who they're playing. I don't know who's the quarterback. They don't know who's the quarterback. I don't know what they playing on. And if you play Trey Lance, I think that you have growing pains, even when your roster is that good. Patrick Mahomes being Patrick Mahomes is something that you don't see often. A guy that can come in and immediately elevate their team to a Super Bowl, because that's what happened. But let's not forget, Patrick Mahomes sat on the bench for a year.
He had that year behind
Alex Smith played the year that he got drafted. So guys that's coming in like immediately getting play, I just don't know how far they can take a team to the Super Bowl. I don't care how stacked that they are, but I do feel like from a roster perspective, the 49ers have been a chance to, go toe-to-toe with Tampa. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'm
Seattle? You don't like Seattle, y'all?
Seattle, I was thinking Seattle's in that
line. Sussy.
That NFC West is so tough. I mean, that is a tough division. Arizona being at the bottom and still being as good as they are, that's a killer division.
Yeah,
so,
definitely tough division.
So Super Bowl, really tough to pick. I'd love for us to get together maybe mid-season and kind of revisit what we talked about today. Before we get out of here, though, briefly, I know you both love college as well. What are you looking at for college football? What's your college football overview for this year?
Well, I expect the drama that it's been full of drama already, and that was before the season started last weekend. You got Texas and Oklahoma leaving, and now the Big Ten and ACC and Pac-12 want to make the super conference, and then the Big 12 is just looking outside the window, and nobody wants the Big 12. So it's a mess. It really is a mess, right? I always been a proponent of expanding the playoff, because I never thought 4 teams was good enough. You have 5 conferences. So why does that make sense to you to have 4 teams? I always thought it should have been all 5 conference winners and a wild card guy, maybe like a UCF or a team from maybe another conference, or a team that's just really that good, right? But now they're talking about moving it to did they say 18, 16? I don't know, something stupid. That's
last I heard was 8. They were talking about doing
they want to expand it to more than that. Wow. The whole purpose of these conferences merging. So I hate it. I think 6 is good. I think you have 4 teams, 2 byes, and that's just where it goes. But because I think, and I say that because I think after 6, I think that the competition drastically falls. Teams 7 and 8 and lower ain't rocking with Alabama.
Well, you've seen that even in the 4 sometimes, where you have that 4th team that gets in, and everybody they were undefeated all season, and then they go get washed by a 1-loss team. So Yeah,
I just think that teams like Clemson and Alabama are too good to lose to teams like a 7 and 8 seed. Like that 7 and 8 seed is going to get their ass beat. And
yeah.
excuse my French. That's just what's going to happen. And it to me is not viewing worthy. But yeah, I love I love college football. I love the chaos of it all. Usually it's just a mess, but I'm here for it. I can't wait.
What's your outlook?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm right there. I'm right there with her. And I do have a disclaimer because I am a Notre Dame fan, but I am tired of seeing my team take a worthy spot from somebody else. Because cash rules everything. Cash rules everything around us. So it's all about the money in the programs, right? So definitely want to see other teams get the opportunity, expanded. But with the merger, it does make me a little nervous because it's like I do think that some teams will probably end up kind of losing their programs as a possibility in the near future. So it'll be interesting to see, interesting to watch. But SEC runs the world. It's no secret. So that's my college football take on that. But like I said, I'm definitely pumped for it. I love the fall. All the sports are back. The good beers. I love it. Football's back, baby. College football's back. And I'm excited.
Well, thank y'all so much for agreeing to do this. I'm excited because next week we will all, in the next couple of weeks, we will all be in Vegas. And I am excited about the Ravens season.
Yeah.
Again, I am all things Baltimore. We talked about our Orioles at the beginning. I don't care how many games they lose in a row. I feel like we're going to get the next one. That's just how I feel.
We won't lose 20.
Listen. I mean, you might have got us 19 times in a row, but 20 is ours. Like, I just feel like that about our team. So I'm excited about the season. One more time, if y'all could, just let everybody know how to follow y'all.
Again, it's at the NFL Chick. And I am on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And like DJKay Show, Twitter is my favorite out of all of them. So that is where you can find me the most. But I also do Instagram and I also do Facebook as well. Oh, and the Gridiron Gals podcast at Gridiron Gals.
Perfect. Same here, DJKay Show. You can find us on all platforms: Apple, Google. Wherever you get your podcast, you can check us out there. Fun show. We discuss a little bit of everything: sports, trending topics, politics, health as well, finance. I mean, a little bit of everything. We love to keep everybody informed. Primarily my culture. I mean, don't get it twisted. I love my white folk, but still, I'm here for the culture and for my people. So we love to keep y'all informed. DJKay Show, Twitter, Instagram. Heavy on the Twitter. Hit me with a follow. I quote your tweets. I do all that stuff. So we have fun. We have a good time.
Man, thank y'all again. Y'all know I'm Dame Dorso and everything. I'm excited about life. I love God a whole lot. Raven and Bourbon, probably second and third. My family somewhere in between there too. But again, Baltimore, everything. I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. So let us know what y'all think about what we talked about today, what y'all think our record is going to be, where y'all think we're going to be, what y'all think we right on, what we wrong on. And we're going to try to get together again and do this and just have a good time as Ravens fans all season. So nobody's told you all day. I absolutely love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace.